Okay, I'm gonna stop that. Okay.
What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Nintendo Video Chat. We're playing Super Mario Kart today for the Super Nintendo, which was released 20 years ago to the day, if you're listening to this Saturday, September 1st, 2012.
Nice.
Rich and Audrey are going head-to-head in the battle of the century. They work together way too much. They have grudges.
Yeah,
they're battling it out. So what we're seeing right now is battle mode, and as you can see, it's tight. It's neck and neck.
This was like, I don't know how many weekends of my life. This is Fran, by the way. Like me and my brother would just play this over and over and over
That's
again.
how it's done.
And yeah, like if you haven't played Super Mario Kart, well, I think
this
you're crazy.
Totally feels different than what you are used to if you play modern Mario Kart.
Yeah, but it still looks great. Like I mean, obviously the Mode 7's aged a lot and stuff like that. And Mode 7 is the graphical effect you're seeing of a big plane being rotated back and forth.
Yeah, it looks like 3D, which again back then this technology Mode 7, which was scaling sprites, made it look 3D, and it's not at all.
The controls though are so different than you're used to. Like it just does not have the handling that you're used to. Everybody is a little more floaty and kind of slidey than
it's really.
So Rich, please tell me you're playing as the princess.
I am. Yeah.
He is actually.
I like
Are
to
you
play as
really?
Toad.
Audrey throws a fit if I take Yoshi.
That's true.
yeah, it's
Confirmed.
literally just happened about 5 minutes ago.
So why did you choose the princess then, Rich?
Princess has roughly equivalent handling and speed acceleration.
He
Gotcha.
likes
So-
the princess, that's
So
why.
the characters in
Don't
this
lie.
game have not special powers per se, but they have weights and they have handling.
All
and stuff
those
like
like
that.
super special abilities that were like in Double Dash and a lot of the other materials, like all that stuff is just gone. It's not in this game at all.
Well, it's not gone. That was before.
Yeah.
Well,
It
yeah,
hasn't
right.
been conceived.
It's gone.
yet.
Yeah, it's gone.
It was a
within the
twinkle in
context of
Miyamoto's
this.
eye.
What? Audrey, what were you doing with that red shell? Did you think it had magical
Fred.
powers?
You want to jump in here, backseat?
By the way,
Mario
it's really
Karting?
hard to. We always talk about how bad we are, and it's hard to do a podcast in play. But
Especially, yeah.
you're doing very good, Audrey. I'm
Oh,
just
right.
kidding.
Oh, thank you, Fran. Coming from you, that means a lot.
So correct
So
me
there's
if
a
I'm
couple,
wrong. by the
wait,
way.
before you go on,
Sam's got
there's a
some
couple
facts.
people in this room I wanted to introduce because we have Richard George and Audrey Drake on the controls right now, but then we're going to be switching off. We're going to do some round robin action.
Hey, Audrey,
and,
you have to hit me with the turtle shell.
I don't see
snap.
you getting my balloons, Mr. One Balloon.
And we have a special operator in the room today, Bob
Yeah,
Fekete,
balloon.
who's a new editor here at IGN, and he's going to be doing some races when we all need to be talking. So thanks for being here, Bob.
Absolutely.
And we also have Fran Mirabella III.
Bob, say absolutely again. 'cause
Okay, absolutely.
I had you
Bob's
on
here.
mute.
I have to make sure I get my one word in.
I got you.
Oh, and the match is
Yeah,
over.
what was
It's
that,
such a,
Rich?
Nice
it's such a.
job,
I
Audrey.
killed
Where was-
myself.
where was that attitude,
I
huh?
killed myself with my
Mr.
own
Mario
banana.
Kart extraordinaire.
So Rich,
All right,
hand
guys.
your controller over to
Yeah.
Bob. Bob, let's keep the
take it
action
back to
moving.
your desk.
All right.
Go
What-
crawling back to the hole you came from, Richard George.
What you guys didn't see was that I beat Audrey in
They
the prior
can see
two
it.
races and the prior battle mode.
Well, there's no proof
Sure,
of that.
Rich,
Fran, I didn't see that. Did you
sure.
see that?
Yeah. Whatever you got to tell yourself to sleep at
Bob,
night.
just play a race for now or something. Yeah, play single player
Terrible.
for a second.
Terrible.
So, we'll be racing each other and battling a lot today. In honor of the anniversary, happy birthday, Mario Kart. I can't believe it's to the day. By the way, I'm your host, Samuel Claiborne. I know that introduction took a long
We all
time.
recognized your voice, Sam.
That's right.
How many years again? Sorry.
20 years to the day this Saturday in North America. It came out pretty much the same time in Europe and Japan, though, which is kind of interesting. That didn't really happen usually. It actually came out in Europe later in January. But it came out on August 27th in Japan, so we just missed the
Crazy.
anniversary.
Nice.
You know, in Japan, we talked about this last time. There's funny names of games in Japan. In Japan, it's Super Mario Kato.
Ah.
Pretty close.
It's very
Pretty close.
different.
I wanted to do that.
Oh, you want to do it?
Do it, Fran.
Go, Fran.
Please.
Go, Fran.
Please do
No,
it.
I'm not going to be racist again.
Okay.
I've done that enough.
Aw.
So this is the very first game in the Mario Kart series. I didn't play this much at the time. I don't know if you guys
my
did.
friend across the street and I, that's pretty much all we played once the game came out. That was like all we were playing for months and months and months, and we would usually go back to it.
Wait.
Battle mode. We actually didn't do too much like Grand Prix racing or anything. It was mostly
Why is
just
why is
racing.
nobody playing
Yeah, Bob, you were supposed to play a single player race. So Audrey's been like sitting on top. She dropped the controller.
That's okay. This is nothing normal for Audrey. She typically just sits at the start line and fails.
As
just picked it up.
previously
Nice,
discussed,
Rich,
as
nice.
previously discussed, there's no way to back out of options
Oh.
here.
You have to reset
so
the game.
Yeah, you literally have to
Sooner,
reset
I
the
had
entire
loaded
game.
it up.
So this is before the B button was established as back,
Yeah.
which is something that we take for granted now.
Yeah, it was
But I
actually-
remember Super Nintendo era. I was like, this makes sense that they started using this a lot in Final Fantasy games.
We
to cancel.
were messing with the just like doing races ahead of the start of the podcast, and like I selected a character. I'm like, oh, I didn't want that one. And I was like, how do I?
He selected my character, Rich.
No,
Not
I
just
did
any
that on purpose, but I
character.
selected somebody else, and I was like, oh, I don't want to do this, and I had to.
Oh
so.
yeah. By the way, I've been playing Yoshi up here. So look at that recovery.
That's pretty
Yeah,
amazing.
recovery, Fran. 8th place.
Yeah, this is-
Oh, he was playing for like
This
minutes
is Fran
alone.
as Yoshi.
Anyway,
Fran, you can hand
continue.
that back to Audrey to play some rounds. It's fine for her.
I
to
would.
play.
I
You just need to
just-
play single player.
Look at that
no.
shortcut action, people.
So what
I'm
we're
out
seeing
until
now.
we switch to Mario Kart 64.
Oh, final lap for Yoshi. Terrible.
You
can just
do
quit.
it, Fran.
So I think this is cool to point out that this went away after this game, but in this version of Mario Kart, when you're playing multiplayer, everybody else is in the game, and that was something that was like they weren't able to pull off in later games. Like they would only have 4 people racing at once, and I thought that was always really stupid. You couldn't like in the GameCube one, Double Dash, which Fran gave a 7.9 to.
All right, we'll get there later.
You'll
Another
notice
episode.
the coins you collect too. That comes back in Mario
And that's
Kart
another
7.
feature. I think
Yeah.
people really missed that, and that came back only in 7, right, for the 3DS.
Exactly.
So can you explain how that
Coins
works?
are also in Game Boy Advance version.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, a lot of the features
Okay.
have sort of come on and
Well,
off over the different years.
The way the coins work is that the more you collect, the faster you go.
we don't
so
wanna
it's
do
in your
this.
best interest to sort of go out of your way for coins to up your max speed.
But if you get hit or whatever, you lose coins.
If you get
and
hit, you lose
speed.
coins if you spin out.
So this game only has 2 modes, right? It's just Battle Mode and Grand Prix.
Yeah.
That's it. And Grand Prix is like you race through 4 courses per level, and there's 20 total. And I think what's interesting about this, and we're just touching on this, so I didn't play this much at the time, but this came out like 1992. That was really early for Super Nintendo.
The SNES had like just this juggernaut wave of games that came out right at its launch, or not at its launch, but within its first like couple of years in North America.
This is 9 months later.
Yeah, like most of the classics you think
yeah.
about when you think about Super Nintendo came like right at the beginning.
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
very,
yeah.
very early.
ActRaiser, Super Mario World were like launch
Link to the
titles.
Past was right in this
F-Zero.
area. I think Link to the Past was just later this year in the fall, I believe.
93, I think.
Was it 93?
I don't
Okay.
really know.
I mean, did we
I think
clearly
so.
define every? I mean, this was the first Mario Kart.
It was?
Yeah.
Yes,
and
we said
it was
that.
the first.
That's why it's a big deal.
Well,
Don't worry,
but
friend, we said that.
You know what? It's also a big deal is that it's also just the first like kart game. Like it's
Yeah.
like RC Pro-Am kind of in the sense that it's like a casual race game.
Yeah.
And those did exist. Like there was arcade games that were super fun to play, like off-road and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But in terms of like a behind the cart, it was just like
Well,
totally crazy technology.
Something
Yeah.
else to note about this game, to the best of my knowledge, this was like the first major Mario spin-off. I mean, we had stuff like Dr. Mario, which is kind of a little different to me, and like, you know, I think there was some PC games like Mario Typing or Mario's Missing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like, this was one of the big, you know, this really paved the way for not only the entire Mario Kart series, but like stuff like the baseball, soccer, you know, all these different like
The sports games.
iterations,
Yeah,
all
totally.
the Mario sports games.
Although he was the referee in Punch-Out.
That's true.
Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so
He
that's
was
what I mean.
already exploring other.
And he
It
was
wasn't
in
his own game,
He
though.
was in NES Open Golf actually.
Yeah.
And him and Luigi played,
There
and then
were-
the princess watched.
They were like around in these weird like guest roles and stuff like that, but this is like, to me at least, this is like the first major spin-off for the character
I
and its
think
franchise
to your
as a whole.
point,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
actually has all the characters in it,
Yeah,
right?
that's it, yeah.
And weirdly, it adds Donkey Kong.
Yeah, although
which
it's- I think-
Donkey Kong had been left out
I think
of
it's
Mario.
Donkey Kong Jr. to
Yeah.
be specific. Yeah, it's
Yeah, it
Donkey
is.
Kong Jr. Yeah.
And then Donkey
Yeah.
Kong in the later games, in the manuals, it said that he grew up to be Donkey Kong.
Oh, is that
in
what they did?
Yeah,
That's
so
so
it's
funny.
still Donkey Kong Jr.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Mario doesn't age.
And also
Yeah.
Princess is
Okay.
just
Just like Charles
Princess.
Martin did.
It's not even Princess Peach or Princess Toadstool, it's just Princess.
I wonder
just
what
some
that was
amusing
about.
details. Well, I mean, just the franchise was
Yoshi's
evolving. Remember, you and I
I
went to
know.
that
Yoshi's
pinball.
always a little fat.
We went to that pinball expo, and within
Yeah.
like 1 year, all the branding for Mario had changed.
good
Like
luck,
just
fan.
this radical
true.
difference. So, Ghost.
So here's
Oh,
something
yeah.
interesting about this game. It's based. You can see this ghost house. There's also Donut Plains, Choco Island. These levels are all based on Super Mario World.
Yeah.
Like that was the Mario inspiration
Mm-hmm.
to this game. But interestingly, this game did not start out as a Mario game.
Okay,
it
shortcut
started
time,
out as a
people.
kart game.
Just a plain cart game, and then
Yeah.
they slapped Mario on top of it.
That's
That's
kinda
right.
cool.
Yeah, it was Miyamoto was the producer at the time. So he wasn't like lead development role, but they were
Right.
looking for a way to make a two-player F-Zero, right? Because
Right.
F-Zero was huge. It didn't have any way to race your friends in it, and it worked similarly, right?
Wait,
there was
shortcut
mode
this time.
7 rotation.
Oh, I got it right
That
that
was
time.
awesome, Fran. That was really
Well,
good.
I screwed it up bad last time. I just want people
You
to
just drop off
to
the
know.
cliff.
So to do that, you have to hit jump, right?
Well, I forgot. I thought
He
you
needs the
boosted over the
flower.
ramp, and you
Okay.
just need to use the feather.
Yeah, you
that's
need
the trick. You need the feather.
Flip
Feather
that one, not
also
flower.
from Super Mario World.
Yeah.
And that never returned, right? I don't think the feathers in
To
any
the
of
best of my
I don't
knowledge,
know.
yeah, this is the only one.
So yeah, that was a much debated removal from the series, right? When we went to N64.
Just jump.
the feather was taken
yeah.
out, right?
Yeah.
So you couldn't jump over stuff anymore. Or wait a minute, the feather might have been there, but oh no.
Well, so
64?
what everybody hated on
I
was
think the feather
in
was in
Double
64,
Dash,
no.
they took out jumping entirely, so you just
That tripped
power
me
slide.
up. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing.
It's
I
really
missed
hard
it.
to play.
And that's my favorite one, so I'm really used to it. So I'm not used
Calm
to the
down,
jump too
friend.
much.
It's okay.
Like you can jump across textured areas to get
Yeah.
across them faster.
I mean,
Yeah,
now they rely a lot on boost pads and sort of just ledges that you sort of launch yourself off things for shortcuts and things like that.
But getting
You
back to a
can
little bit
jump
of development stuff. So yeah, it was they wanted to make a 2-player F-Zero, right? They had mode 7, and it was interesting because they put in like some generic characters just to get this sorted out. And according to this article, it says that there was a generic man in overalls operating the cart.
That's
So
not
really,
surprising.
then they're like, oh, maybe we should just make it Mario. Oh, come on.
Wait.
But yeah, they
Straw
really didn't
mustache.
develop it as Mario.
Well, I mean, that's
begin
the way
with.
most games at Nintendo don't start as any specific franchise for the most part. They just start
See, from
as
now
a
on,
thing.
I think they
They start
should
with
just start
gameplay
him as a
mechanics
Mario
first
game.
and then build the rest of the
it's
game
just a
around
concept.
it.
It's like, oh, okay, this would be appropriate for this franchise. So.
Yeah.
But don't you think they should just use Mario? Then it'd be like, then they can swap in Kirby if they
I mean, they
want.
always decide that stuff later. Like, I mean, I forget which franchise we were talking. Oh, well, it was when we were talking about Sunshine and how we talked about how Mario 128 became Pikmin and this and that and this, and it's the same idea in Mario Galaxy even. So I mean, it's the same idea where they just say, hey, what if we come up with this fun concept? Oh wait, you know what? That might make Mario.
Do you guys
Mario might
remember
make
on
way.
that Simpsons episode where Bart goes to Mad Magazine headquarters and he looks through or he doesn't get in, but then like Alfred E. Newman like pokes his head out into the boring office that Bart sees, and there's like crazy shit going on in the background, like all the That's
funny
how I
to me
picture
that-
Nintendo's development.
Yeah.
It's funny that we have you have these thwomps here, but they don't have any spikes on them or anything like that. It's,
Can't draw those. It's too difficult.
Yeah, right.
Bob's not gonna let me have redemption, man.
I'm not letting you pass.
Yeah, well, you're not talking and
funny.
listening over there, but
Well, he's focusing.
I'm
too.
concentrating on playing
We
the game.
invited Bob to come up here
And
to
win.
be good at Mario Kart.
We invited
Yeah.
Bob to
That's
win.
what he's here to do. Because
Fran, you're not gonna
otherwise,
win.
there will be all these comments and say you guys all suck at the game. But it turns out that we have one person up here who's really damn good.
To be honest, when I actually started playing this just a little bit ago, it was the first time I played in like decades probably, and like.
But you know these courts from recent games.
Yeah, for
'Cause
the
they
most
reuse
part,
them.
Yeah.
They do reuse a lot, but there's still the weight
Which
and sort of
number,
like
Bob?
the physics of the
Yeah,
characters
and
are so
To
different.
be honest, like whenever I go back to play an old Mario Kart game, I always go to Mario Kart 64 because that's probably still my favorite in the franchise.
Right.
I
Bob's
still
not even
like this
talking,
one, but
and
I
he's
just
losing.
rarely return to it.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
now.
64, Mario Kart 64 was sort of the clincher for me in terms
Oh.
of buying an N64.
Man,
Because,
so
I mean,
close.
Mario 64 looked amazing, but I was like, well, I want a couple more games that I really want. And when I found out that Mario Kart was coming out, which is actually approximately the time I discovered IGN back in the day, or the old N64 site.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the game that sort of got me into N64.
Who do you play as, Rich?
my heart is going to explode
I
out of my
don't really
chest.
have
remember.
main
I do
characters.
tend to
Oh,
go
no.
for like what has Yoshi-like characteristics, which means like fast
Yeah.
acceleration
Yeah,
and
yeah.
decent top speed. I really don't like slow
was-
characters.
Like
I was,
bigger characters,
only
like
6
Bowser.
seconds behind
I
you.
get
They're
annoyed if I
good
can't
for
stop.
battle
Photo
mode. Like
finish.
you can run right into people
Yeah.
at the beginning.
You can do that, but it's just like the lack of acceleration just drives me crazy.
Yeah, I always
Where-
played as Yoshi during the main game and then Bowser during battle mode.
My
See that,
recollection
Rich?
Is, what?
You see that?
What happened?
What
You
happened?
doubted me.
We didn't see.
There was a photo
So this
finish.
game wouldn't get a 7.9, friend, right?
No,
'Cause
sir.
You're actually
So
decent
Fran-
at it.
Sorry we
So,
interrupted
Fran,
you guys talking. I was like
It's
so
no problem. I
freaking
just want to.
happy.
I just want to ask. What
what's the
happened?
final?
What happened with Ducktales last week? I think it's time to figure out why you were so
I
terrible.
can't
at
talk about what
DuckTales.
happened with DuckTales
No,
last
no,
week, actually.
Well, you're so. You can talk about how you didn't know there was a button to use the cane to bounce with.
I hadn't played it in 20-some years or whatever, so yeah, I kind of forgot. Oh.
But this is all coming right back to you, isn't it?
Oh, it is.
It
Well,
is-
I
to be
played this
fair,
like
it is
5
rather
months ago.
simple. It's go.
Oh, you replayed this.
That's not true.
Well,
like,
the jumps,
between
the jumps and slides
Okay.
and stuff like they're
Here-
kind of memorized.
here's
They're
basic
also
Mario Kart
sliding.
strategy: get coins so you can go a little faster. Find the nearest shortcut for like a speed run or a mushroom boost.
Punch your friend in the shoulder.
And the red shell. Saving it. Don't be too hasty.
This
That's
one is
basically
very-
it.
well,
Oh, and the
this-
slide.
The slide is huge in this one. It doesn't have the sort of like the back forth boost ability where you get the
Yeah,
sparks
yeah,
that boost
yeah.
you. They didn't implement
No,
that
that was
yet.
double
Yeah.
dash.
Yeah.
I like
Wait,
that
ready?
visual
Shortcut.
feature too.
Bam.
It really makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, shortcuts were huge in this game actually.
That's how you made up for lost
What's
time.
funny is that like I
The
remember.
courses were pretty short, relatively. But
Yeah,
they're short.
yeah. My friend and I in this, we barely played racing. We just did battle mode, like always.
really?
That's
Yeah.
all we.
Yeah, we
played.
did too, but I like the
That
cup
happened
mode
with
here
64
because
too. People play battle mode like crazy, but now
Yeah.
people don't care because we're so tired of like that deathmatchy, just kind of really simplistic
I wouldn't be
multiplayer.
tired of it. It just doesn't feel like it's as good. The tracks aren't as good, and just doesn't handle as well as it
You
did
really
in
think that? You
64.
really think if the tracks were really
If it-
good in the
if they
Wii
brought-
version,
Sure.
you'd play it? I don't think
Yeah,
that's true.
I would play the hell out of it.
Well,
It
the
was
Wii-
like it was in 64.
Hey, by the way-
They brought back Block Fort and all that. That'd
But
be
when you
awesome.
pick up the 64 game, you still want to play Battle?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Of course,
It's
totally.
different. So I think
that's-
I
oh, man,
enjoy
I'm
the
so
battle
different
modes
than
personally, but none of my friends actually want to play battle
Oh,
modes with me.
I
I
don't
live
know.
with someone who plays battle mode with me. I'm very lucky.
Your cat is very talented. Unbelievable.
She
Audrey.
always
Every
wins.
time.
Meow.
She's always like in a backpack or
playing Magic
playing
the Gathering.
Yeah, playing Magic
Hey,
the
Bob.
Gathering.
She's a multi-talented
I dropped
kitty.
the ball on that course.
Man, you dropped the
You
ball.
dropped the ball on the last course too.
Are you guys
I
ever?
came in second on the
It's
last
two
one.
in a row you lost. 2 in a row, Bob. 2 in a row,
Yeah.
Bob.
I didn't
We
expect
brought
it.
you in here to win. Get out.
Gotta throw down some more perfect circuits. I
Have you
guess.
guys ever gone to like a real
I came in first
professional
overall.
karting
No.
like facility?
I used to do RC cars,
Yeah.
like race
RC
level
cars.
I
RC
used
cars,
to,
but
yeah.
not actual
I went to
go-karts.
one with our engineering team.
I
We had like
forgot this.
a day at the races, and like it was this crazy. Oh, we're watching.
I hate to interrupt, but Mario's getting hammered up there. You notice that?
It's got a like bottle of champagne.
He's celebrating.
It's
man.
apple
good
cider.
Uh-huh.
That's what it
It's
is.
Ramonade?
Yeah.
Lies.
Oh wait, that was
Sparkling
racist. as
apple
well.
Two
cider.
congratulations.
2.
I don't get it.
I think that's
2
for second
congratulations.
player.
Oh, okay.
Probably.
Oh yeah.
Or
okay.
second place.
Nah.
Anyway,
So
I
awesome.
don't know.
real go karting. I've
I
gone to
guess
like the little kid ones a lot, and
Oh,
like
yeah.
it's kind of nothing's really like this. But if you guys ever go real go karting sometime, it's kind of terrifying.
I would
Oh,
not.
really?
I don't think I can do it. I would
Imagine.
just freak out.
I got like this giant blister in the center of my hand that like just peeled off. Like, it was so intense, and like I was with like Mark Ryan and like other people were like car buffs
take the
and like,
control.
they're like good at racing. It was intense, man. You get like strapped in, you have a neck brace, like all this
Yeah.
stuff.
I think it's funny that-
kind of
And those engines are real. It's like 150cc, 100cc, 50cc.
That's
Those are like
actually-
actual like engine measurements for cart-sized things. So like golf
Yeah.
carts are like 150cc.
Yep.
And I never really understood what that like 150 cubic centimeters of I think
cars.
It's the engine size.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, one thing to note, we literally just bought this game on WiiWare. It happened to be not on the Wii that we brought in. That's why you don't see Special Cup unlocked, so no
Yeah.
Rainbow Road for you guys.
Yes, stop
sadly.
complaining.
Oh,
no,
really? We
Bob's
can't
playing
see-
right now.
No, we can't do Rainbow
That
Road.
brings up something important. What's your favorite courses, peoples?
Well, so
Oh,
for me,
man.
I mean, it's not so much that I have specific favorite courses, but I always look forward to seeing what the interpretation of Rainbow Road is in every iteration of the
Me too.
game. That to me is
I
by
love it
far
in
the most
GameCube.
interesting.
I think it's so good.
So
Yeah,
you're talking
I love
about?
Rainbow Road.
Are you talking
Or
about?
Koopa Troopa Beach? Is that what it's called?
Yeah,
In
I was gonna say in
64?
this
Yeah.
one, I really
Yeah,
like. It's called Choco. Well, not Choco Island. Yeah, the beach one. The beach
Yeah,
one's really
yeah,
good.
yeah.
I think it's Koopa Troopa Beach, right?
I think
Yeah,
so.
I
think so.
Yeah.
Koopa
Yeah.
I
Beach,
love
something
that
like
one.
that.
Well, then that one's carried into all the other games. I think
Yeah,
that's
I
like
think
the popular one.
has it been in all of
I
them?
mean, the
I
Ghost
think so.
Mansion, for example, has an
Maybe.
iteration in every single one. Bowser's Castle, I believe, has an iteration in every single one of them. I'm sure we're going to get a ton
Bowser's
of comments.
Castle. I love that one.
Bowser's
That's
Castle and
good.
Rainbow Road are always the
So
Yeah.
you guys noticing something about single player here that's really wacky? Is that the bottom screen is either a rear view or a map.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Bob, give us
Oh,
the
there you
rear
go.
view. When
There it
you
is.
win, it's not gonna mess you up.
It honestly isn't dictated by me. It randomly switches.
Oh, I thought you can check it out.
Maybe
No,
when someone's
it's really
getting close.
obnoxious, actually.
I love this overall map though, because it's just like this brown wavy mess, like the way it presents the
Well, it's the
textures to you.
scaling,
It's just
yeah.
so brutal. It looks like your screen's screwed up or something. Actually,
You know, but to their credit, you
you should
know,
make it brown
Well, I wonder if
It-
they're using the same Mode 7 panel to make that art.
to just rotate.
Yeah,
it
because
slightly.
like that's what Mode 7 does. It takes a sprite map and just rotates it all
Yeah,
around.
right.
That's like the same effect in the end of Super Mario World when you're fighting Bowser
Nice job,
and
Bob.
his
Scaling in it.
yeah, and his crowny clown thing that you love, right? You love that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the
what's
balloon.
it? The
Yeah, the Bowser balloon goes
The
forward.
clown
No, it's the
car.
clown car or
Yeah.
Koopa car.
Well,
Bowser
we're also
car.
seeing this on
Wasn't
an
it a clown
LCD
car?
TV,
Clown
which
car.
I
didn't
think so.
It's a
exist
car, though.
back
Yeah.
Yeah, the car with
So
Makes no sense.
That's a good point. I don't know if you guys realize
Audiences.
this, but if you use textures from games like this and like Final Fantasy 3 especially, that looked really pretty at the time, when you see them on LCD, the fact that they're so sharp like looks like crap. It makes like some interference. So like when you play this on a CRT, it just looks better. It's true. And people are like now like making these emulators that emulate really nice CRT look. And like if
not the same.
Nintendo was able to just like go half-assed and just try to do that, it would look really good. I think.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I
think
mean,
it's
it-
not the same, but I think it looks good.
Yeah, I mean, it's really crazy to think about why that matters, but you know, like even for fighting games, the latency is way different, and
Yeah.
like literally, it's a cathode ray tube, right? So it's firing electrons at like this screen. Okay, I'm not a scientist,
This-
but it's firing like electrons at it. Whereas with this, it's
very technical.
It's much different.
It's glowing little crystals, is what
Exactly.
it says.
Yeah.
Audrey, what's your favorite courses?
Like I said, I love Koopa Troopa Beach.
And
I
you
love
can talk about across all
I love
games.
Bowser's Castle. One of the newer ones, I love Maple Treeway. I think that's from the Wii version. That one's so good.
It's really pretty.
Is that the one with the big like tree shooter
The
thing
big
or
maple
something?
tree, and you like jump through it. Yeah, I love that
My
one.
favorite all-time Mario Kart course is the Donkey Kong Mountain in GameCube.
That one's
Really?
That's cool.
Yeah,
That
where
one's a lot
you're
of fun,
going
'cause you-
up for a while, and then you get to the
jump.
top, and then you're flying a little while, and then you just plummet down the hairpins are just so good in that.
That is
and
a really
like, you
good
go off
course.
the edge, you're screwed.
Yeah.
And
Oh, I love, what is it, Wario Stadium?
Yeah, Wario
Stadium.
That
That's a
one's
good one.
really
It's
good.
probably my favorite.
Dino Jungle is really good too.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, I like, the single player in Double Dash, which is what you're talking about, right? Is
Well, not single player necessarily, but just
favorite
well,
courses.
but sorry, the
non-battle mode. Grand Prix.
yeah, the Grand Prix stuff and
Yeah.
time trials. I mean, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. I like the.
Oh, we read the
core
review. We know
mechanics.
that's not true.
And 7.9 is.
You
we'll
hated
get back
that
to it.
game,
I
Fran.
did not.
Fran. You know
what?
It was the battle mode and the promised online
Fran,
support.
we
that
all
never came
know that
through.
anything below a 9 means it sucks and you hate
Well,
it.
yeah,
Just
I
like
know, you can't
Darksiders
please
too.
them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I didn't say that it was really great and you should buy it if you like action
Audrey,
games.
Audrey,
I said
why do
it
you
was
hate games?
terrible.
Why
I
do you
know.
hate games?
It's because it doesn't Scott's the Marios.
I actually
Zeldas.
I actually read that review this morning.
Darksiders?
Yeah.
From Star
Two.
Darksiders 2. Audrey did the review of that, and that's coming out for Wii U. I don't know. You probably have to touch it up, but do you think any bug fixing in the Wii U one could change your entire opinion
I
of the
hope so.
game?
I mean, that's and again, I said it was really good. That's what the score means. And yeah, it's just tons of glitches, really random ones that just they'll happen once, and then you'll restart the system, and then they'll never come up again, but a different one will come up.
Yeah.
That brought the experience down. A lot of the environments were just far too empty for how big they were.
Yeah.
So just.
But
felt
you didn't
like-
say it was a bad game.
No,
though.
I said it was a really good game,
People
and
were
that
really
you should
upset
buy
though.
it.
Well, I think I was surprised
But
that
people were
there's
mad.
really positive reactions from other press outlets, right? And
Yeah,
that,
well, it's
just
actually
like
split.
surprising.
Like they're like I think.
Well, no, it is split, yeah.
Kotaku, official Xbox magazine.
Lots of eights.
Lots of other places gave it 7s or 7.5s. A lot of places gave it 9s or 8s. So like
Yeah.
it's just totally split. You either don't care
Let's look at
about
Bob.
I
the
don't know
really
what's going
bad
on right
glitches
now.
that happen.
I'm-
like one time I was
I'm
playing
getting,
at
like,
the end, and
assaulted.
just the music totally cut out towards the very end, and so yeah, I don't know, just really.
Well, I
glitchy.
think, and this is not because I just work for IGN, but I think you did a really good job with that review.
Oh, thank you.
And I think like different critics focus on different things, right?
Yeah.
So I
Well,
think
some
like
people
you
think-
were very focused on how cheesy it was, and I am too. And that's what prevents me from enjoying Darksiders is that like the story and the characters and stuff are just like kind of like it's too like 13-year-old for me. I just can't get into it.
I think the thing, so I remember seeing a couple stupid comments out there saying, oh, why did Audrey review this? Richard review this, which was ridiculous. But like,
Yeah.
the funny thing is that I actually agree with everything Audrey said, and I would have actually been harder on the game.
Yeah.
To me, and it's not just because I really like Zelda, but the fact of the matter is that Zelda does that kind of game better than
Yeah.
Darksiders 2 does it,
Well, people were pissed off that I said the word Zelda in the review, and I only mentioned it once because to not mention it would be a disservice because it's
Well, and you're a big
clearly-
Zelda fan. I think you're the perfect person to review a game.
Well, and I love
that,
action
like,
games.
The people that made that
Nintendo
game
ones.
like Zelda.
Yeah, clearly
They're like
they-
you. They're like fans of
Well,
Zelda.
it's an homage to Zelda, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like, you can do that, and if it's a great game, then awesome, you have another game that's like that. But the thing is that it didn't do it as well as it didn't do adventure as well as Zelda did. It didn't do
Yeah, neither did
platform
Skyward
as
Sword, to
well
be
as
fair.
Princess.
Well, so here's the thing to
I
like.
just don't think it lived up to the franchises it was trying to.
Here's the thing. I think anybody would actually
Draw
welcome
inspiration
a different game that's not Zelda that plays just as well as Zelda. Like, I'm all for that. Give me another franchise. Yeah, sure. I'm fine with that.
M-rated Zelda sounds awesome. I'd love to play that.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, just everything you said. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
like it does everything good, not great or
Yeah.
extremely well or anything
Well, and a
else.
lot of people were mad. They're like, "Oh, so it has tons of glitches, but they're going to release a patch, and then suddenly it's going to be a 9."
Yeah.
And it's like, well,
But
that
reviewing
wasn't.
doesn't work that
Well,
way.
yeah, it's like, that.
Yeah, what do you cross your fingers and hope that
What
it
am I
happens?
gonna do? I'm gonna give this a 9 because if they ever get around to patching it, because that's worked so well for
It's like,
Skyrim
oh, and the
PS3
Blu-ray.
so far.
Skyrim, yeah, Skyrim's never been patched.
Then it's gonna be 9. No, you judge it based on how it is right then, how it's gonna be when people buy it.
It's like,
from the
oh, for Dark
store.
Knight Rises, I hear they're going to change the ending on the extended edition Blu-ray. Like, that's kind of a different
Like,
product.
No, you.
Well, and like
That's
the-
not- I didn't hear that, by
That's
the way.
in
very
front of you.
that's very relevant because they just released this prequel or like pre-scene for Avengers. It was
Oh.
like an awesome opening.
Oh, really?
Did you see that?
No, not yet.
It's really good. It's like did you like it, Rich? I don't know if you
No.
you didn't like it.
No.
I thought it was good. Well, see, I didn't like Avengers, So I thought
What?
it would have been cool to open with that.
And thus the truth comes out.
See, now I wish you could see our faces. I'm like shocked by that. Anyway.
Why?
Sam gives
I like
Avengers
individual
7.5.
parts. I like Thor. I like Hulk. I just thought the movie. I don't like any of the enemies. I thought the plot was terrible. I thought the dialogue was really good though.
As
Good
superhero
dialogue.
movies go, especially the entertaining comedy-driven ones, it's kind of a comedy. I thought it was very.
It
well
was,
done.
yeah.
Not a perfect movie.
Should
But
we talk about like
Hulk
Nintendo
joke.
news?
Yeah, let's do that briefly, and then I have some listener mail to get to, which we haven't done yet on Nintendo Video Chat, and
I
it's
thought
really
we
good.
did it on the first
Very
one.
first one we did.
Yeah.
Mario
Barely.
Sunshine we
Doesn't
did.
count.
regardless, we're really doing it now.
Super Nintendo Video
Because we
Chat.
planned for it.
Really,
Yeah.
really.
Cool. All right.
You want to kick it off with the 3DS news, or?
Yeah, I mean, I've got just a whole bunch of different
go
stuff in
for
all
it.
sorts of different orders. All right, a lot of these are real quick bullet points. We found out that Ace Attorney versus Professor Layton is not only exists, it's
yeah.
over 60% complete, and it will be playable at TGS.
Yeah.
Cool.
Pretty
It's
awesome.
still not
We have a Layton
confirmed for
question
Japan.
today too that we'll get to. It's good.
Perfect. We got some more Layton news in a second. Also playable at TGS, Monster Hunter 4, which is one of the big reasons I think the 3DS has really taken off.
Oh, yeah, that game's enormous in Japan.
Yeah, just the promise of that and knowing it's coming in 2013, I think, is letting Japanese gamers buy with sort of assurance. And also the thing to keep in mind is, at least in the sales charts lately, Nintendo is just owning everything in Japan.
For 3DS specifically.
3DS,
I
even
think-
old Wii games, it's
I think the
really
entirety,
crazy.
the last numbers that were released, Nintendo dominated the entirety of the top 10, and
Yeah.
if I recall, they
It's like
had
17 of 20 or something like that.
17
Yeah.
of 20. Yeah,
And these are
something
tough
like that.
times
It's
too, like for
incredible.
the industry. Like there's just not much coming out. And I think Nintendo, like investing in putting that new system out, then was a really good idea. Although
Yeah.
Vita, not so much.
No.
But
Yeah.
man, like I can't think of like a single prediction that I would have read 3 years ago about 3DS that was correct.
Right.
Everybody was a naysayer, especially in Japan of all, because everybody's like mobile's so big in Japan.
I remember when I said on this here podcast that 3DS would outsell Vita, and people were like, "You stupid fangirl! How could you say that?"
That's the amazing thing
in your
is
face.
everybody
I'm psychic.
everybody thought Vita would walk
That
in and
remains to be
destroy.
seen.
What?
Vita has some life left in it. That's why it's called the
but
Vita.
initially
I was about to
it
say, it's really
it
yeah,
means life.
it's a little ironic there.
It's in the name. EX Troopers, which is the Lost Planet 3DS spin-off, is also, well, it's actually, I
That
believe,
game looks really cool.
I think it's also coming to PS3, I want to say, but that's also coming to TGS playable. Other news, this is all very Japan-centric because, it's doing really well in Japan, and hopefully some of this stuff comes over here. A pink/white 3DS XL
Woot.
is, is being,
That's what they need, another color.
yeah.
That's what Japan needs, another color.
We
Yeah.
need more colors,
Come
that's for
on.
sure.
Seriously.
It's
So
cute too. I like
It's
it.
pink external shell.
It's like Kirby pink.
Yeah, Kirby pink
Yeah.
and then a white on the interior. Side note, in America, we have yet to really receive any sort of white 3DS XL.
Just red and blue.
Although there's
Anything.
a great blog on 1UP this guy's
Yeah,
doing, and,
I saw that.
he's updating the 3DS wiki with a how-to for this, but it's basically you swap out the motherboard in a Japanese and a US 3DS, and you can make a white 3DS. And he has
Right.
a working one. He actually lives in the East Bay and offered to do it for us if we want to
Oh,
do
that's
it.
cool.
It's awesome.
Or you could put an awesome decal on your XL like me.
Yeah,
yeah.
Audrey got a cool little.
Audrey
Star
likes
Wars
to put
decal.
stickers on her system.
It's decal dummy.
That's like if you bought a Ferrari and you put a sticker on it. Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah,
People
I
do
don't
that
think
all
the
the time.
3DS
No
is
one
like a
does. No one
Ferrari.
puts
Maybe
stuff
an
on there.
XL? Sure.
Fancy sports
For
car.
the
People do
3DS,
that all the
That's
time.
unheard of.
Ugh,
They add a
horrible.
big stupid fishtail.
on their like cars.
Not a Ferrari.
people do
well,
that.
not a Ferrari, but like still like
People
a BMW
put a big
or
no
something.
fear sticker.
No, I
truck
know.
nuts. Have you
The
ever seen
shield
truck
from
nuts?
My
Link's
point
Awakening
being is
is
Rich, have you
not
been
a
to the
no
South?
fear sticker.
No, shut up. My point is, it's stupid. Like
Okay.
that's the point.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah,
I'm
I would
rich.
never.
I hate
I would-
everything and everyone.
I hate
I'm
Audrey
gonna go
most
out
of
of
all.
the
You guys need to
country
play
now.
another round of Mario Kart.
Yeah, they need to work
All
it
right,
out.
Pink 3DS XL. A new Professor Layton game was announced for the 3DS. It's the 6th game, and apparently the last that will feature Layton himself at
Yeah,
least.
it'll be
You
the
know
end
why?
of the.
It's because the voice actor is not very nice, and they don't want to have him back.
That's not true. He's a gentleman.
And a scholar.
But that sort of makes sense because it'll be the end of the prequel trilogy that they've started with Last Spectre. So
Nice.
I'm sure they'll continue the series, but with like his son or something.
Animal Crossing, subtitled Jump Out in Japan, has a release date in Japan now. It's actually coming this year, November 8th.
For Japan, yeah.
Yeah, for Japan. And there's going to be a special Nintendo Direct focusing just on that game sometime in the future.
But you ready for the big Animal Crossing news? It exists.
It exists.
exactly.
And it's when is it coming,
They
Audrey?
finally talked about it. They said it's coming to North America first half of 2013.
Woo!
It's better than nothing, guys. Come
Yeah.
on. And some big news news from the footage they showed. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, first, Brewster's back. Yay!
Animal Crossing news. I love Brewster.
Coffee. I want to get coffee.
He's kind
from
of rude,
Brewster.
but you know.
You know, he warms up to you though,
Just
and then he
out of-
tells you about his exploits in the city.
Yeah.
Just
Got
out of
a hard life.
curiosity,
He's a businessman.
Exactly. Business pigeon.
is Brewster in all the other Animal Crossings?
He's in Wild World.
He's
I
not.
never played
He's
much
not
of
in
the
the first
Wii
two.
one.
He's not in the first two.
And by first two, I mean the 64 and GameCube ones.
Okay.
Because there's a coffee shop. There's. I don't think Toto KK plays in a coffee shop. He just appears to play somewhere else. Right?
Yeah, is he in the Wii? I never played the Wii one that
They
much.
all blur together too much.
I would
we really
assume
No,
do
he
yeah,
love
Toto
was
that
that
KK
one.
just appears on the train tracks to play.
Oh,
the first one.
yeah.
Here's
But anyway, so Brewster's back, and Booker has a lost and found shop,
Okay.
which is cool.
Instead
this
of the
stuff
recycling
really
bin.
makes me want to shoot myself.
Yeah, and you can choose which shop. Since you're the mayor, you can choose which shops go in your town and what time they open.
You actually start with a tent, right, and to get an upgrade
Yeah,
eventually
you have
to
to
your
work
house
your way
and stuff
up.
Oh,
like
you have
that.
a tent?
You have an office
start with a
too.
tent,
You have your
yeah.
own office as mayor. and a little
Apparently, Sam,
assistant.
the proper way to move into a city is you just pack a tent, you go somewhere, and much like the
I think-
homeless
I think
people in
that's
San
how people
Fran.
are doing it
I know.
Yeah.
You live in San
Yeah.
Francisco. You know that's true.
So you apparently start the Tenderloin.
So,
Apparently, the San Francisco is the prototype for Animal Crossing.
Exactly.
So one day you're gonna have a stupid talking raccoon like trying to sell you
An
Audrey,
coffee.
awesome talking
I love these
raccoon.
points, but I do want to get to mail, and I want to make sure Rich
Okay,
gets what
you
he
can
has out.
build
We've got a
bridges,
lot of
walls,
news.
and benches. You can change the color of your furniture. You can change your door, roof, and exterior. There's new furniture
Wait,
and
Audrey,
wallpaper.
Audrey.
Clothing
Audrey.
design from City Folk is back.
Here's my
This is all-
question.
Okay.
you can
Okay.
exchange designs with friends via QR
Audrey,
code.
this is all new?
Okay.
This is all
Yeah.
new? So what the hell did you do in the previous games? It sounds like all basic stuff. Hey, you can wear pants now! Like,
And shoes.
Well, you can wear pants.
like what were they, just like little, like,
It's
There's
like,
a,
it's
you
like
can do a lot in
toothpaste.
those games, to be
You-
fair. So,
you-
like, a
you
custom
only
roof is a
innovate
big
every
deal.
once in a while.
Yeah.
no, it's
Or
not.
toothbrushes.
You know what?
Also, I had someone on Twitter go,
What
I
do
hope
you like, Rich?
No.
Just name something
Someone
you
said-
actually
Wrestling
are
and comic
positive
books.
towards.
Yeah, wrestling and comics. I was
I hope-
going
No,
to say
he
that.
only complains about those too.
I hope
I sit
Rich
next to the
doesn't
guy.
review Animal Crossing
Statues.
was like a comment on Twitter. It's like, of course I'm not going to review Animal Crossing. Like,
Yeah.
under no circumstance would I review Animal Crossing. Like, I don't want to. It's not
that's
happening. Okay, moving along in news.
Get to the big stuff, Rich. I got good,
I
good
don't know.
letters.
I was
It's
with
all-
Audrey. That was interesting, but
Not
we
so
should move
interesting.
on.
A lot of little updates, honestly.
Since Rich doesn't like it, it's no good apparently.
That's totally true.
All right, save it for the race, kids.
All right. We've known for a while that Crytek has some Wii U game that licenses the CryEngine 3. We just didn't know what it was. It wasn't any of the Crysis games. A new ESRB listing has seemed to indicate that it's going to be Sniper Ghost Warrior 2.
And those are generally correct.
Yawn.
Wait, what is Sniper Ghost
So.
Warrior? What?
I don't know.
It's a
I've
game
never
that
played
Stephen A.
Sniper.
loves.
Crytek made that?
I've never played. No. It involves the CryEngine.
CryEngine.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry. Got it.
Crytek has
Sure.
been saying that there is a game
the
on
point
Wii U.
is that people always argue whether the CryEngine will
Run
keep-
on it or
run
not,
on it.
sure.
Well, they
Yeah.
said before. They said months ago that it did, and it
They
looks
said it
beautiful.
did. They said there was a game
There was a
running on
story
it.
on it.
Looked beautiful. We
Yep.
just didn't
Yeah.
know what it was. Seems like this is it. And yeah, like Audrey said, ESRB listings are generally accurate because unlike store listings, which can just be put in there at will,
Somebody pays for the ESRB.
someone
ones.
has to pay to file with the ESRB.
Yeah,
You
this isn't
file
just a placeholder.
for
This
literally
is-
each version of the game
Exactly.
too. So and
This happens all the time.
Sometimes mistakes happen, but a lot of ESRB listings are
They
actually
very
correct.
rarely.
It's like
mistakes.
It's like with trademarks. Like eventually, you just have to file them, and you hope that the press doesn't pick up on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And these days, like so much leaks just because you have a lot of people and even a lot of fans just looking through all this stuff.
This just happened
So-
recently too with another Wii U title.
Yeah,
Which
that
was
one. That one's supposed to be an eShop one. It's by Mechner, the guy who made Prince of Persia. I cannot remember the name of the game right now.
Karateka, but it's not
Karateka.
pronounced that. It's pronounced Karateka.
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 Karateka. Okay,
So
I've never
there
played that.
is the suggestion again through the ESRB that this is coming to Wii U, potentially through the eShop. Obviously, with these things, like it's not official until it's actually announced. So there could be some, just misfilings or something. But chances are, seems like it's headed that direction.
Yeah.
There's more, Sam.
Okay.
There's more. Oh, there's more.
Okay.
Iwata recently did a round of interviews. He did an interview with Kotaku more specifically. Most of it isn't really worth bringing up, but there was one point that was interesting to me, which is Miiverse. And Iwata was sort of actually discussing sort of the social implications of Miiverse and how there really isn't, you have Twitter, you have Facebook, but your types of content on there range from everything, just politics, there's just random crap. There's also
Hurricanes.
stuff that's relevant, news, there's politics, there's everything, but there's not it's hard to get it completely filtered to just games and stuff that's relevant to the game you're playing.
Yeah.
And that's Nintendo's vision for Miiverse, apparently. We'll see. We haven't seen this thing in action or in full demo.
I don't know.
I think it could actually...
No, I like this idea. I talked
Yeah.
about this last week on the podcast, actually.
Oh, cool.
Not to that extent, but I think, like, reading that, they have an idea about like online play that's still like about being kind of single player.
Right.
Like I can compare stuff with my friends, but they're all there.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I want. Like
Yeah.
that's what I like about Xbox Live, like leaderboards. But that's what I don't like about playing like Halo with random people.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
there's things that you can do online that are cool for single player games and augment them. And I'm really
so I
excited about
think there's 2 points to make here. One is that I do really like Xbox Live. I mean, I have it and I use it a lot, and when I can, I play games with my friends. But at
He
the
likes
same
it,
time,
Audrey.
See?
Oh yeah, see there.
Hey, we found something.
He'll
Why
look
does
at what, an
Rich
hour
review
into
Nintendo
us.
games if he likes Xbox
That crazy X-bot, I knew it.
We should just have a podcast of what Rich likes. I'm just saying.
Yes, let's say
That
that.
would be a
No, let's
short
not.
Not do that.
podcast.
Nintendo
But
Rich.
so you have Xbox Live. You like that?
I think what the interesting thing is that it's really it's a collection of friends and I play online with them, but it doesn't necessarily replicate the feeling of like 4-player and N64 games or 4-player GameCube games. And I think what Nintendo might be trying to do
Holograms? Are you saying living room holograms?
Exactly, just like on CNN. So I just think that they're trying to find a way to do that. And I mean, Audrey, you mentioned that you don't really play online multiplayer too aggressively.
Yeah, I mean, I just never took to it. I honestly prefer just like local multiplayer, get
Right.
some controllers and get a game,
Yeah.
just actual interaction. Like,
Yeah.
I have nothing against it at all. I totally get why people love it. It's just, I prefer a more retro approach to multiplayer
And what's
online, I
interesting
guess.
is we
I don't
had
know.
Colin Campbell write a piece about this, and everyone's making a big fuss about the gamepad and sort of the actual like touchscreen, but there's the potential in some ways for this Miiverse idea and the idea of a social gaming community that's integrated into your system and not just an app for Twitter or Facebook. If it's done right, and we'll see what Nintendo does, but if it does it right and gets it right early, there's a potential for that actually to be the most significant contribution of Wii U, but we'll see.
I am very interested in it. I mean, even though I was kind of like going, The only reason I made that sound, by the way, was that like every time Nintendo has this great idea, the execution sometimes just doesn't turn out to be what you want.
Or
So
they
but we'll
launch
see.
it a year later.
Yeah, or it'll
Like,
be later.
if we
yeah.
get this system and it doesn't have this built in, then
Right.
what's the point? What is the
Right.
point of
Well, I
that?
think the thing with Nintendo is that they usually don't try to give you what you want. They try and find something surprising, something new, very Nintendo to do. And so sometimes it's going to be something that isolates a lot of gamers, and sometimes it'll be something that just hits a home run. It's
Nintendo,
just-
I mean, despite the fact that they're totally different and one company is just dominating everything in the world, but they remind me a lot of Apple in which that they just do their own thing and then just sit there and insist that it's right, and sometimes it really pays off.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah,
always.
And
that's what I was gonna say.
sometimes
They
it's
also
the Virtual Boy.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, I
sometimes
was
it's
going to
the
say
Wii.
they tend not to make huge bets though. They do like really wild experiments and then they iterate on them. And I think that's what we're talking about. Like you get kind of mad that it takes a year to polish it up, but that's kind of just their approach.
I mean, I think the thing with
Well,
Miiverse...
with the 3DS, they didn't even launch the
Right.
store and stuff.
eShop and stuff.
yeah, it wasn't
Yeah,
even
online
there.
wasn't even
You had to get it
ready.
downloaded like 3
Unbelievable.
months later
Like,
or
I
something.
can't,
Yeah.
I couldn't
can't
believe it either.
You
I
can
couldn't
Yeah,
believe
that was,
it.
Yeah.
that was crazy.
But here we are today.
And they're going to do it again
everybody's using
because
it.
they repeat their mistakes
see.
every time.
We'll see.
Sam
I think
hates everything,
The
apparently.
mistake they made with the 3D...
This is just a little Sam Rage segment.
Sam hates more than Rich.
Sam Rage.
I would say that, Nintendo does sometimes repeat their mistakes. However, looking at what happened with the 3DS, that damaged them so much financially that I don't know that they, I
That's
think,
not a mistake they can afford.
I don't think
to
Iwata
make
will be
again.
president if he makes that mistake to that significant a degree again. Like
Well,
the
the
board,
3DS, he took a pay cut and nearly stepped down.
Exactly, the board and the shareholders
Voluntary pay cut,
I just
yeah.
like if you created a situation yet again where you're hemorrhaging money and you have to cut your system's price because your feature set is not complete. I don't know that the current like organizational management at Nintendo survives. It's just look at what happened to them, and that's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
devastating that. And they depend on their games and their game consoles. Like they depend on that. They're not necessarily like Sony where they have so many different avenues of revenue that they can work with.
They're just a game company.
They're
It's
just
incredible
games.
that they're still competitive with Microsoft
Yeah,
and
they're
Sony.
just a game
Absolutely
company.
incredible.
If they don't get the games right, that's it. Like, so we'll see.
I think I guess they have to have online prepared in time for launch. I don't think it will be, or that they want it to be something similar to like PSN or XBLA. Like I don't think that's what they would do. That they can't compete with that, and I don't think they want to.
Rich, are you wearing one of
So,
those
I'm
bracelets
fine
that
with
turns
that.
into a little animal?
Yeah, girlfriend gave it to me.
What does it
Which
turn
animal
into?
is
This
it?
one turns into, I want to say it's a phoenix. Oh, jeez.
So these are these little bracelets that the middle schoolers at my fiance's school have, and
Yeah. My girlfriend has a whole bunch of
They're
them.
like
This is
bunnies
oh,
and you-
it's a dragon. It's a dragon.
it's like a little plastic
Yeah.
gel thing.
Yeah.
Nice.
She's always giving me bracelets and rings and stuff.
Well, she must have a lot of quarters and go to Safeway a lot.
Yeah, she got these like giant packs
Staff
of them.
bracelets.
Well, she doesn't buy one of these. She
Oh,
just
okay.
has like this pack, and she was showing them all to me. And she's like,
Can
"You
you
want one?"
imagine being like the company that was like, we're gonna import these like stupid bracelets from China and try to sell them to the
They're
kids here?
huge.
By
They're
the
huge
way,
for
Like
us.
it worked.
Yeah.
I am playing
Like
Bob in battle mode. I hate
Yep.
to interrupt, but I wanted everyone to know we switched it up, and I'm Toad on the bottom.
Nobody cares, Fran.
Oh, they care. This is a video chat, and they are watching.
Fran Toad.
Let's get through the. Yeah, exactly.
Are you not
let's-
done yet? Come on,
No,
Rich.
we're only halfway through.
I got such good letters.
I know. We're all about like a lot of vintage games right now on Nintendo Video Chat, partly because we have no new games to play.
This is the
But
best news of the
Like new
podcast.
This
I
is
wanna-
really interesting if they do it right. Again, speaking of like companies actually executing things. So we're playing, Mario Kart, SNES game. You go into GameStop or you look on GameStop.com. No old games there. You can't.
Yeah.
You just can't get them. And they're beginning to indicate that they are going to get. Depending on what outlet, depending on what iteration of GameStop and Babbage's and all these things you talk about, they're going to get back into this sort of like
There's no Babbage's, Rich.
vintage. No, I know, but GameStop evolved from Babbage's.
Get
and
to it,
software
Rich.
et
They're
cetera.
gonna have vintage games at
They're
GameStop.
gonna
It's
sell you
Vintage
old
games,
games.
online only, from what they're saying. They actually say they have the inventory.
online only?
They're building
so
the
far.
inventory. They're purchasing it,
Well-
which creeps me out because that means they're going to flea markets like me, buying up all the
Imagine
little
that'd be
Samson
a cool
cards.
job, though.
They just on
going to
eBay,
find
though?
stuff.
So all
Like,
these
are they
used
really
game
going-
stores are going to be like, yeah, we just sold a bunch of product, and then they're going to be under
So the thing,
in a couple
Yeah.
years.
the thing to remember
So
is that
sad.
GameStop, especially as it acquired all these different shops, like it's been around in some form for 25 years. So they do have an inventory and they're building it. They have some issues with refurbishing and figuring out how they're doing that sort of thing and determining conditions because those games can vary wildly in quality.
It's just
But
weird.
yeah,
You know why
there's no
there's-
timetable. Also,
They're stepping into the game because everything is gonna at one point go digital, and they need to have something to sell to people in stores. Like I don't think it's gonna be just online.
Well,
I think
and
they're gonna bring shit back. To
I wouldn't be surprised
retail.
if it goes into stores. The problem is that so. Especially with vintage
And they
games.
specifically mentioned collectors.
Right. I mean, the problem with me for vintage games being in stores, and I mean, you can get around this, but you're looking for like this game. It's a
You
little
don't go
different.
browse?
Not necessarily. Like I want
I
like a
love to go to
specific
used
game.
game shops and browse
Yeah,
for things
I'm
I don't
pretty
have.
different. Like
Yeah.
I have a want list, right? So
Right.
I have like hundreds on that, and so like I'm gonna.
Well,
go
but
If you
think-
see an old game you're looking for the right price, you
But think
grab
about
it.
this.
Yeah.
You go into a GameStop right now, and it's full. Like, there's just tons of crap. But that's literally games that have existed within the past, like, 5, maybe 10 years.
Yeah.
And you're talking about an industry that goes back 30 or so.
Yeah.
So how do you stock all of that? Especially if you're looking at just, like, even just look at
I
PlayStation
imagine
with
something
its
like the
thousands of
Indiana
games.
Jones warehouse.
Yeah, exactly. It just goes back. They're all in crates, and you just have to, like, look at them all. And the really good games are all, they burn the sides in.
Yeah.
And in the front of the store, they just have a display case that says "World of Nintendo" with little paper things
that'd
in
be
it.
amazing.
And you take the paper thing out, and you go up to the
I
register.
have to say, it's a smart move, though, because if
For
you go
kids
in-
that are young, that's what we used to have to do at Toys R Us. Is you get
I
a
remember
piece
that.
of paper.
I hated
Yeah.
that as a kid because I'm like,
And
I
take it
don't
to
know
the
what
front.
any of this
Booyah.
is. Like unless I was like, oh, it's Mario World, I know what that is. But if it was a game that you didn't recognize, like if it wasn't a brand, and you're like, I don't understand what this game is. Like, how
Yeah.
am I supposed to know what I want?
Did
you
they
know?
have not? They had box art alone. Is that what it was?
From my recollection,
Or not
Toys
even
R Us
that.
didn't. It just
Just
had
the
a
name.
name
Is that a number or
and maybe a rating and the price, and then there's slip and go
Yeah.
get it. And you're just like, well, what the hell? You just grab all the slips
But
and be like,
sometimes
I would
they
like to
have like
see all of these.
a console at the end with like tons of demos on it.
Sure,
so
sure.
they do
Yeah,
that.
there were some playable kiosks.
Yeah,
So
what
anyway,
else?
there's no timetable on that, but we'll see when that shows up.
cool
They
stuff.
definitely want to do it though. I know. Whenever I go to Japan, I'm all looking at the retro games,
Yeah.
trying to see what's there.
Yeah, Super Potato.
More release dates. Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. Nintendo just like 2 weeks ago said it was first half
Literally
2013.
2 weeks, yeah.
They said it was first half 2013. We probably talked about it in the past week or two. And then yesterday they're like, oh, by the way, it's Q1.
They made
Like-
some really good headway in these 2 weeks.
I know, yeah. They're just like, oh wait, actually it's done. So whatever.
I'm so like not wanting to play that game now. It's been delayed so much. I'm just like I was interested when there's nothing else to play.
To me, and it's probably development issues, I guess, but like I was totally excited to see this thing come out like in Halloween, near Halloween. That was just totally
Yeah.
made sense. Guessing
Well, it's
some
not
slight
like it's
troubles.
spooky anyway.
What's hilarious though,
it's
to
not the
me,
point, Audrey.
it's still
The point is that
Halloweenish.
Rich likes Halloween, so lay
I
off
do.
him.
I do.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I also like Disneyland Halloween, and that's not scary at all either.
See? Look at it. He has a big fuzzy heart under that hard exterior.
I didn't realize. I take
Disneyland
back
Halloween.
my comment about it being okay. It's not
What
coming
you should
on
be doing,
Halloween.
Audrey, is making fun of him and challenging him to Mario Kart.
Yeah. Was it Fran and Bob? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
We're
you're doing
into it
battle
now,
mode.
man.
No,
Oh,
I
okay,
didn't
cool.
know.
All right.
You got anything else?
Yeah, we got a few more.
Rich.
Devil Training, which is the successor to Brain Age overseas,
Yeah.
which has a cool name.
What's it
and
called?
It has a cool name
Devil
in Japan.
Training.
Just
Yes.
not Brain Age Devil Training.
It's
just
Dr.
Devil Training.
Kawashima with devil horns.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
he's an Oni, and he's like challenging you to super hard puzzles or brain
And that's like
challenges.
devil or
anyway,
demon in Japanese.
Nintendo predictably made it a boring name over here, so it's called Brain Age Concentration.
Training. Like what?
December 3rd here.
Well, it's
in
not
the
like the
States.
exciting name is going to make that game any better.
I just think Devil
I liked
Training's
Brain Age
amazing.
originally.
Yeah.
I have not
Although,
played them in a while.
I will
I
say,
think if it's Satan Training would have
if
been
you were to
cool.
call it Devil Training here in the States, I would expect you to be like torturing people and setting people on fire, not actually solving math
Jeez.
puzzles.
And then you're like, wait a minute.
See, Audrey, Rich does like stuff.
Can you
He's
imagine?
making it up just
Can
to
you
prove
imagine
it.
like thinking this game is some cool action game and you turn it on, it's like 2 + 2 is 4. You're like, what? Really? That sucked.
Rich actually likes talking about killing off my favorite game characters.
Oh yeah, which one
Something
did
he
I say
always-
today?
Layton was today.
Oh yeah, I was like, what if Layton dies at the end of the final
Yeah.
Layton game?
I think the,
That'd be cool.
the,
Oh,
well, the
but it's a
prequel, so it
prequel,
doesn't make
right?
sense.
So it wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
The-
He
Maybe
comes-
there's 2
you
prequels.
find out
There's
he's a-
Twin and him.
You find out he's a ghost in
That'd be
the
good.
other
That
Or
would be
robot.
amazing.
Ah,
Robot
Layton.
Layton.
That's
That
why
would
he's
be the
so
greatest.
good at the puzzles.
That's how
Greatest
they do
twist of all
things on the
time.
universe. There's
Yeah.
always robots.
Yes.
Spoilers.
I forgot what I was going to say.
Okay, that's good.
What were
Have
we
it.
talking? Oh yeah, Brain Age.
Yeah.
Brain Age. Yeah.
Did they realize that the Brain Training train left the station like 10 years ago?
Maybe. They're trying to
on.
find a new one for the 3DS. See what
Yeah.
sticks. Game Freaks
That's a lot of news
actually
this week.
has. I know, right? Game Freak actually has a new 3DS game. It's an eShop game.
Game Freaks is the developer behind
Of Pokemon.
Pokemon. Yep.
Yeah.
It's called Harmo Knight, and it's some sort of platformer rhythm combination game. So
Yeah, like
kinda cool.
battles. but
All
with-
the
you
great
have to
RPG
attack
makers
to
got to
the
make rhythm games now. What
Yeah.
year is this?
It's so sad that my first thought was like, why aren't they working on Pokemon 3D?
No, they're working on it. Of
So
course
it's just
they're working on it.
Yeah,
theater them with
it's funny.
Pokemon.
No, it's an original
got-
IP.
Yeah, it's like an action game, but
Well,
like you have
obviously
to
it's an
attack
original
to the
IP.
beat of the rhythm or something
Nice.
like that. Yeah.
I will say that I like
Looks
the
pretty
idea that Nintendo's, sort of like second subsidiary type developers
Mm-hmm.
are all kind of chiming in with their own little eShop games. And we had Intelligent Systems with Pushmo.
Yeah,
And now we
yeah.
got Game Freak. I mean, I would love to see all of them eventually get around to that and
Oh,
make the
yeah,
eShop
those
really
are the
powerful.
highlights of the eShop, honestly.
Yeah.
Which they gave up on the eShop. There's been nothing this month.
This month has been
It's
pretty
so-
bad.
Well, it's funny because last month was amazing. They're like 2 virtual console games every
Yeah.
week, and
Mario's Pie
lots of
Cross.
3DSware, and
Yeah.
now there's nothing.
Yeah, a
It's
little
barren landscape.
Audrey, tell us about Adventure Time on the 3DS with
That
its
game's
horribly
cool.
long subtitle.
Yeah, it's called Adventure Time. Hey, Ice King, why you still are garbage?
Wonderful.
Yeah, and I played it the other day.
Wait, who develops it?
A Way Forward.
So that's important.
Yeah,
Oh,
which
yeah.
Yeah.
so it's
Makers
actually
of Shantae Risky's Revenge.
yeah, and
Aliens,
it's
some
really
other
good. They
stuff.
do a lot of
Resurrection.
license work, but
Aliens Resurrection, and they also
Mighty
do
Puzzle.
Mighty Flip Champs,
Mighty Flip
Champs.
Champs,
What's
They
the
were
other
in
one?
charge
Mighty,
of
Mighty Milky Way.
Mighty Switchforce.
And-
That's what I was
Mighty
thinking of. Yeah,
Switchforce.
that's
and
what it is.
alumni of Nintendo Voice Chat.
I just dominated
because
Bob.
Mark Bozon's
Sorry.
brother works for that company, and Bozon does
Yeah.
consulting. They also
Yeah.
do Contra 4.
Exactly. But anyway, yeah, I played it the other day. It's based on the cartoon, which I actually had never seen until I knew I was going to the demo.
You
so
never
I-
even saw the old, like,
You never watched
the
Adventure
pilot.
Time?
Adventure Time? No, I had never seen it at all.
Oh.
Not like purposefully. I wasn't avoiding it.
It's
it
like
just
made for
it
audio.
had
That's
never.
weird.
It didn't, I know. Once I saw it, like a couple of friends from work finally, like, you were watching this.
Is that why you got that tattoo?
Yeah, that's a Jake tattoo now. No, but it's actually really fun, and the game is really cool. It's basically just like I said in my title. It's Zelda 2 crossed with Adventure Time, which sounds crazy, but Way Forward makes it work. So like you've got the overworld map, and you've got little dungeons and towns, and when you go into the dungeons or towns or battles, it goes into the little side-scrolling
To be
segments.
honest, if Way
Great
Forward,
music, too.
If Way
Oh,
Forward is,
amazing MIDI music.
if they're doing
Really
any
cool.
sort of tribute to an old school game, like I'm on board. You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
like
yeah.
Aliens
Well,
was.
Zelda 2, like,
yeah.
it's unexpected, because,
Yeah.
like, that's sort of the black sheep of the... I love that
And you always
game.
think, like, you could
Underrated,
make a
but
better
it's-
version of that game, too. Like, it has such good pieces, they just didn't come together perfectly.
Yeah, no, but it's really cool. It's got the Adventure Time humor. It's got the Zelda 2 mechanics, which have not been used enough, and it seems I'm really excited for the game now. Actually, it was something that I just didn't even care about when I first heard about, just because I didn't know what the cartoon was, so
Yeah.
why would I care?
I will say this.
But now I'm pretty excited about
We
it.
should play that on Nintendo Video Chat.
We should,
I'm sure we will.
absolutely.
I've attempted to watch Adventure Time, and it makes no sense to me. However, the thing is that now that I know it's made by Way Forward, and knowing their sort of like legacy of just old school 2D,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that sort of stuff, now I want to play it. You know, and that's
Yeah,
the thing.
exactly.
I didn't see it when you did, but it's. I do not care whatsoever about Adventure Time, and I want to play this game. So
Yeah,
that's kinda
exactly.
cool. Yeah. Okay. Last thing, short and simple, and Audrey has a scheming
so.
thing about it. Oh wow, Fran.
okay, I know what
Also,
you're
keep
talking about.
cackling like a witch in the background. It's funny when you're like, oh,
I know.
Well,
He's not Fran Toad anymore. Now he's Princess Fran.
Yep. Yeah, sorry, I switched to Princess.
oh yeah,
Princess Fran
shocking,
Shroom.
shocking.
Oh.
Harvest Moon.
yes, okay.
I can't remember the subtitle. It's on 3DS. Release date November
New
6th.
Beginning, I think.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Somehow, even though it looks very similar to the other ones.
I hear that as pre-order cows.
Tell us about the cows and the
Okay,
yaks.
so people have been wanting to know about my scheme to get both the cow and the yak. So the thing is that if you pre-order
So horrible.
No, this is the big news.
This is horrible
If
of
you
her.
pre-order the game at GameStop or the online store, you get a yak, right? But there's also a special edition where you get this big old squishy 12-inch cow.
And you have to order that through.
You have to order that through the Natsium store.
Right.
So, if you want to get both, and you know you do, what you do is you pre-order both of them, and then you just return the one you got at GameStop
Is
and
that
keep
horrible?
the pre-order. No, I have done it, and
I'm
it
fine with
works.
it.
Are you telling
Even
people to-
worse that you've done it before.
It works
Participate in
great.
illegal
'Cause
activity?
Because you, when you
It's
return,
not illegal.
No, when you return the game, you don't have to return the pre-order bonus.
Yeah, that's their fault.
That's what I do for games I
I don't
get
think
free
still
of the
seems
of a
option.
scheme.
deceitful.
I think everybody knows about
Exactly,
that.
Fran.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I do for
We've
games
just
I
learned
get
that
for free at
Audrey is
work,
completely
but I want the
dishonest.
pre-order bonus.
It's fine.
You're a horrible person.
Tell that to my
exactly what I said.
Tell that to my Tanuki Mario keychain from 3D Land.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she pre-orders
Yeah.
3D Land and then just returns
Audrey's
it.
like going around the country grifting people over pre-order bonuses. Like, this is your double life,
It's
isn't it?
genius.
She's a lot
She
like
told me about
Goldfarb
this
in that
other thing
regard.
where she buys peanut butter and then eats the whole bottom part out of it and then like puts
What?
the rest of it. She like puts like a piece of
man.
paper down there and
What?
stuffs
You're-
it
What
and
do
then
I
returns
do?
it.
You're like
This
the
is a
person
lie.
that like goes into the.
I eat almond butter anyway.
You're like the person in the grocery store that goes, opens up the cereal box, eats all the cereal
I'm
out of
not
it, then
taking the
seals it
pre-order
back up and
bonus
puts
from
it on the
anyone
shelf.
else.
Probably a better analogy for Richard George.
I am not hurting anyone with this. I'm just helping
What about
me.
the little girl that wants her cow?
She should have pre-ordered.
All right, can I move on to reader mail?
Anyway,
That-
you're
and
welcome.
that is all the news in the world ever
Like-
for the rest
like
of
That's
you're not
huge,
gonna-
man.
Yeah,
There's a
we're-
lot,
Like
actually, surprisingly.
you're not gonna get the cow and yak for your girlfriend now.
Well, no,
You're
she's gonna get.
welcome.
I don't have to get it for her. She's gonna get it herself because
With my scheme.
She will have. Yes, probably. What's weird about covering Nintendo stuff is some weeks we come in here and we're like, "What are we going to talk about?" And
Yeah.
then
Like
last
literally
week.
half of this news showed up yesterday and today.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like writing it all down. I'm like,
well, it's funny. Like I was trying to.
Iwata got on the top of the building at Nintendo and
Oh,
started.
that was
Yeah,
amazing.
he
I
Audrey,
did.
is this your favorite
I
level?
should have an update on that Nintendo Direct.
Oh,
That's where a
yeah,
lot of
like
this
this
news
level.
came from. And yeah, you're saying he was in an insane asylum one day, and he was like in the soundproof room one day, and the recording studio. All this stuff is so bizarre.
They
and
take
like,
the president of Nintendo and just throw him in the corner usually. This time they're just like stand on the roof
Well,
at
the best-
night.
Yeah, and it's at night, and then behind him is this
like-
mountain that's seemingly on fire with some Japanese character, and I don't know what it says, but presumably it says like Iwata is almighty or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Presumably.
I bet it says.
I don't know.
I bet
I
it says
don't
the
know.
industrial city.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Like we got that sign over
South
near
City,
South.
USA.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Mail call time.
Mail call.
Mail call.
Mail called. We should have sound effects.
Yeah.
We're
Probably
very
did.
honored to have
I don't know where the bell went.
200 messages in our inbox
Where's
right
the
now.
bell
It is
go?
absolutely crammed. Audrey's been getting back to some people. We haven't done mail call in a while, so let's do
Read
it.
some questions.
This is from Leo. Hey NBC, quick question. I've been playing Mario Kart 7 on my newly acquired 3DS XL, for which I sold my PS3 to help offset the
Nice.
cost. Wow, no regrets.
You go.
And I love the SNES Rainbow Road level. I was born in 1990. My first experience with Mario Kart was on the Nintendo 64. I love the way the track managed to capture retro 16-bit feel while still looking outstanding on the 3D screen. My question: any levels you feel are handled particularly well in the Mario Kart series? Which is are your favorite? I
we
went
already
through this
did that.
earlier.
Yeah, I kind of did that one. All right.
Refer to
we
earlier
didn't
in
hear
the
Fran's.
episode.
Sorry, I'm winning
Thank
as
you,
Toad
Leo.
here. I can't answer this.
What's your
Favorite.
favorite Mario Kart level?
Go.
Of course.
Of every Mario Kart?
All
Yeah.
of them.
I don't know. I can't answer that right now.
All right, fail. All right,
Sorry.
moving along.
Sorry about that.
Way too
I
much
have better
of a-
ones
a
now.
thought.
Okay, dearest NVC.
I'm too indecisive. That's why.
Dearest NVC, if the Frag Dolls manage to get their hands on debug units, Wii U units today,
Wii U units.
This must mean IGN has some debug units too, right? Don't hold out on us, Alfred.
This is stupid.
This is a rumor, Rich.
Here's
Rich
the thing.
is winking right now.
All right,
Myth busting.
Yeah, Alfred. Here's the thing. You cannot believe everything you read on the internet. Not that picture is not legit, but here's the problem. At PAX, they're setting up units to play Wii U games at different booths, such as Ubisoft, such as Nintendo's own booth there. That's where it's coming from. I don't know what the story is, like why someone decided to take that picture. They're kind of stupid for implying something. I mean, it's obviously just a joke. They're setting up, and they're getting this thing ready.
Yeah, a Fragdoll tweeted, "Hey, thanks Nintendo for the awesome swag," and then it's like a picture of her unpacking.
They're just being sarcastic.
They're just black Wii U.
They're just
Yeah,
goofing
they're
around.
awesome.
I mean, here's the thing too: is like. IGN will get whenever these debug
We'll
units
be
show
amongst
up,
the first in line.
we will get the first ones. The Frag Dolls are not a press outlet; they are representatives of Ubisoft.
We have Fragdolls that work for IGN, so we're gonna be okay.
Well, sort of.
It's true.
We do.
Has that been announced? We're
it
hiring
hasn't.
someone new who
It'll
comes
be
way of
on
Fragdolls.
Monday.
Oh,
Sneak peek, everybody.
Yeah.
okay then.
Alright.
I don't even know what that's about.
They don't tell us
So
these things.
all I'm
They don't
saying
even
is that
tell
we're gonna
Rich.
have debugs through her.
Yes, that's all you're saying.
No, that's
not
excellent.
true at all.
That's not true. But yeah, so I mean, like that's the thing is like don't believe everything you read out there. I've had
in
to
the
do some
zone.
bizarro debunking lately, and that's amongst
Debugging.
them.
So you do have a debug unit.
Yes.
Dun dun dun.
Bum, bum, bum. There's a dramatic squirrel.
You know somebody's just gonna click on that part of the podcast and news that or confirm
Should.
it or something. It's terrible. All right.
second.
You heard it here first. Go Nintendo.
Moving
Yeah.
along.
Hey NBC crew, with the announcement of the 6th Professor Layton game in Japan and the 5th one already on its way, where should I start in the series? I haven't played any of them before, and I don't think I could play all of them.
Why
And since
not?
I have New Super Mario Bros.
So
2 and
hot.
Kid Icarus to play.
Why don't you
Oh,
just
yeah.
play
That's
Natsu?
from...
Wait.
Jackson Anderson.
He has Zelda and Kid Icarus to play?
Yeah.
So play those.
No. He has Kid Icarus and New Super Mario Bros.
Oh,
So
well, play those.
What's his name?
No, he wants to play a Layton game before he...
So if you want
Sauce
to,
comes out.
jump in with Layton, but you don't have
Play
time
the first
to
one.
read all of them, yeah. Well, no, play Last Spectre because the game.
I disagree.
No, I say that because the game that's
Prequels.
coming out in October that he's looking forward to is the sequel to
Okay.
Last
Let me
Spectre.
posit to you
It's
that the story is stupid and it doesn't matter in the later games, so it won't matter if he continues into the story.
Last
or not.
Spectre has story developments that matter.
That's okay. I could go into spoilers and complain about this, but I'm not going to. But no, I think the denouement in the first game is awesome,
Most levels
and I
are.
think in the other ones it's not as good.
Well, it doesn't. Yeah, I mean, it really doesn't.
The first one's the best puzzles.
It really doesn't entirely matter how you start, but
Exactly.
I would
That's
recommend.
true, too.
I would recommend starting with Last Spectre if you're
And
leading.
I'd
in-
recommend playing.
If you're leading
and the
into
Curious
Mask
Village.
of Miracle, and then if there's going to be a long time before they localize the 6th one, so then you can go back and play Curious
Right
Village,
around when they-
Diabolical Box,
Okay,
and all
I
of
got
that.
you.
Right around when they announced the 4DS is when we'll get that other Layton game.
I know, right?
One time I played Professor Layton in a phone booth down in Union Square.
That sounds cool.
It was like part of this Nintendo promotion.
Shut up.
That's awesome.
And I want a
I
shirt.
remember that. I couldn't
That's
remember
amazing.
that. Yeah.
All right.
Next question.
From Victor. Hello, Nintendo voice chat or video, whatever you call yourselves nowadays. I, Luigi762, have been listening to NBC for several years now, but it's my first time writing. I'm a huge fan of the Zelda series, aka played every single game for every system, and recently I've had this weird urge to make a game for myself. I'm not going to get into specifics, but I am inspired to finish the unfinished trilogy of the GBC Game Boy Color era. Which comes to my question, would I get in any legal trouble for using sprites and basically everything else from the Game Boy Color games since it's so old?
Yes.
Mainly because I want it to feel authentic.
Yes.
Thank you
Yes.
very much, and don't be nice to any of your fellow NVC members. In
That's
fact,
easy.
smash
Already-
your male siblings in a super way, melee all day, and have a brawl.
You would
Wow,
you
that's
would
very
get in
well
legal
written,
trouble. Nintendo would stop you.
Especially if you sold it.
I would go
If you
ahead and
sold
say
it,
that you would
yeah.
only get in trouble if you sold it, and
you
you
sold
probably
it,
wouldn't get in
yeah.
trouble if you put it on the App Store because there's tons of Nintendo
If
National
you,
Stores.
if
But
you
it-
You're not
sell
going to get in
off,
trouble.
though.
No lawyer is going to come after a guy
If you
that's making
sell
up
it-
a
If you
fan
sell
game.
it,
if you sell it, they
you
will
will
come
get in
after
trouble.
you.
Are you giving this
sure.
guy legal advice? No.
No. We're not
I'm
giving
just
him.
kidding. Just to be clear.
No, our
If you want to make
opinion.
a fan-made game, everybody does that.
Right.
If
Yeah,
he
but
just
you,
puts it
technically
online
using anyone
just to
else's
play
IP
for free.
and
Yeah.
profiting in any way, shape, or form
Yeah.
is illegal.
Yeah.
Using anybody else's IP creation, assets, code.
Like-
Can lead
Likeness,
to
anything.
all
Art
kinds of bad
designs.
things for
Yeah.
you.
So I would
Unless
be.
you're Zynga.
Yeah,
I
don't.
would,
Just because you see other people doing it at the point, it doesn't mean
I would
it's
be
okay.
very smart about how you proceed with that plan. Let's just
Yeah,
put it that
don't
way.
do drugs, kids.
Absolutely don't intend.
Moving
on
along.
Maybe
selling it.
go to Kyoto and walk up to Nintendo headquarters, knock on the door, and say you'd like to make the next Zelda game.
They will not let you to the doors, there's a guy at the gate that stops you.
And Iwata's on the roof yelling.
I got in. I made it into the front desk.
All right, final question.
Have you really?
Yeah, it's like a
that's
hospital in there.
They didn't stop you at the gate, like, because I hear now there's like a dude at the gate who'll take photos with people and
It's
stuff
not
like
a
that.
video game, Rich.
But
I like to think it's like East and West Berlin over there, apparently.
Can you play Ocarina of Time? You sneak
legitimately.
around.
I hear there's these air ducts, right?
By the way, it's if you ever try to go to Nintendo in Kyoto, it's completely disappointing because they will not let you in as press or otherwise.
The hell's on fire.
I mean, it's cool if you're already in Kyoto to run by it, but like even if you get inside, it's a marble. It's just a giant marble interior.
No,
so
it's like the Mad Magazine thing. Stop breaking it.
So, Fran, you
now
need to
tell them that it's not really Mickey Mouse at Disney World.
Fran, you need to actually
I'm
tell
talking
this story.
and I'm losing.
No, I don't care about you losing. You need to tell this story
so
about
good.
getting into the lobby.
Yeah, that was it. I got in the front door, and this is what I was describing. The first interior, right, is a huge marble gray lobby.
But I mean, did you just stand there, or like did
No.
somebody stop
So
you?
it's me and Brennan, who used to work for us, and we were on IGN Insider, and we were doing like a touring Japan piece.
Were you there for TGS or something?
Yeah,
or,
and we did an additional piece. We wanted to go like behind the scenes and show you a bunch of stuff. But anyway, we stop in with a camera, and it's me, and I'm like, oh no, sumimasen. So no, I'm joking. I did not try to speak horrible Japanese, but I was like, sorry, we're with the press, and I show her my business card, and she's like, hold on, and I think she called, and I don't think there was anyone on the other line. Acted like she called, and they're like, I'm sorry, nobody can come down, like nobody could come out and talk to us, as I recall, and they just said, well, it's okay to. They actually let us shoot the lobby.
Wow.
And I've been mad at Brennan ever since because I think he lost it. And
No.
I
was about to tell you, let's put that up.
For years I've been trying to locate it. It might be in our tape stock somewhere.
Fran, explain this. Why does every cool video we shoot get
know.
lost into the ether?
This one was
of the
different.
world?
Like we were running around Japan. We went actually down to Capcom at that time. We did a special behind the scenes of Resident Evil
Capcom's
4.
awesome.
That was why we were there. So we only stopped in Kyoto for like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And there was this there was a monsoon coming. It's a hurricane for those of you on this side of the world, and we caught the last train to like get out of there, and the whole thing was hectic.
Wow.
But I never forgive him.
That's amazing.
I know it might be in a tape drawer somewhere.
You didn't have to fire him, though.
I don't know.
Weird.
I don't know if I've been on an MVC since I've been doing all my traveling, but that's actually one of the places I was Capcom HQ up in the development lab
in Osaka,
for
right?
RE6. Yeah. So as well as Hawaii for Pokemon and Canada for some stuff, and
life is hard, huh, Rich?
And I've got a couple more long trips coming up, including New York City for the Wii U launch
September
event.
what again?
13th.
Don't worry, man.
Rich,
I'll cover Pokemon for you next week.
I don't want to extend this too much, but Rich, you weren't here, right, when we were discussing what we thought would be there? But
what do you want to know? What's
just might as well hear your side of the story because
Well,
you went to the 3DS preview event, and it's probably going to be like that, right?
It will be like that. So it's going to be a press conference with Reggie. That will probably last. I don't know.
He loves Audrey and me.
Yeah,
You should have sent us.
It'll last, maybe 30 minutes to an hour while Audrey's coming with me.
I'm going.
I'm
You
dragging
should have
her.
sent me.
You can come.
Okay.
Hold a camera. I need a camera person.
Okay.
So, and then there's going to be demos. We don't know exactly what, but I mean, the usual suspects, probably updated builds from what we saw at E3. We'll be there.
P100.
We'll be able to film, and I would not be surprised if they actually. And I know that people are going to get upset at this. I would not be surprised if they actually do not reveal a firm launch day lineup. With 3DS, they did not do that. They
They're still a little unsure.
With 3DS, they unveiled the day, the price. They revealed that all the online functionality wasn't going to be there, which was a weird, awkward
Brace
moment.
yourself, Sam.
I know. I'm going to hear Sam from across the country be like, no!
Sam Ray.
And then they had all these demos, and they said that this was an indication of, I don't remember the exact terminology, but launch window, basically what they said at E3
Sam's
for Wii U.
getting angry.
Yeah. But they didn't announce
mad.
the precise games until later in a press release. So for 3DS.
And then we're like E3 this year, when they waited a month and they did a Japanese conference
It
that
wasn't
had
even
more
that long.
than-
It was 2 weeks.
It's
Yeah.
like, so-
And that had all the exciting
Gotcha,
news.
Ma.
After Miyamoto told me there were no further 3DS revisions coming, and then 2 weeks later they're like, by the way, here's
Exo and a new Mario game. And
Yeah.
Well, it turns out
Well, the
Iwata
Mario
stepped
was-
into
That
the
was already
local
out,
high
that's
school
right.
gym and has lots of announcements to make.
Yeah, exactly.
Can I do the last question?
Yeah, we got one more question.
Guys, this is epic. So epic. I just have to interrupt.
You got-
If
What are you
if
doing
were
to
watching,
Toad?
If you were watching, I wasn't paying attention, so I wasn't even playing in the beginning. And here we are.
That's good.
Look how he
So proud of
mocks you,
myself.
Bob.
Ranked.
So,
Oh,
so that was epic.
Go
Final
for it,
question.
Sam.
Final question.
Hello, NVCers. Just wanted to say that although I have not read Nintendo Power for a long time, I still carry a miniature photocopy of the Super Mario Kart game cheat in my wallet. It was
Oh, that's
published in some
amazing.
Nintendo Power in the 80s.
I remember that.
It was actually in the Mario 3 strategy guide, by the way, in the 80s, and it showed how to get all the bonuses in the card house
Nice.
within the Super Mario 3 game. I have had it behind my driver's license in case I need it. I will miss
you need
Nintendo
it.
Power.
You never know.
Thanks for being a fun and informative podcast. Your fan and friend, Zenbone in Clearwater,
So
Florida.
I actually didn't get a chance to do the Nintendo Power
right.
You were out
stuff
of
with you guys. But
country.
what's funny is that, or not funny, but sad or whatever. I don't know what the word would be. But it's I've got stacks of the old Nintendo Powers, like from the 80s and 90s, be right next to my desk.
Are those yours?
Those are all mine.
Do you have the fun clubs?
I do not. I do somewhere.
But
have
those
the
are
fun clubs.
yours? You had those when
Those
you were
are
a
all
kid?
mine.
I didn't know you did fun clubs.
Well, so what happened was my grandmother had all the old Nintendo Powers too, and so
What?
Yeah.
His whole family's a gamer.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
gamers. It's
but
weird.
When she,
What games did your grandmother play?
she and I played Super Mario Brothers 3 all the time. Every time I
and
went
she
over.
subscribed to Nintendo Power?
Yeah.
I know, right?
Just the sound of my head exploding.
No, when she died though, I got all the magazines though, so I have that.
That's by your desk, I think,
All
right?
of they're all
My
there. So
grandparents still don't understand what a video game is.
When my grandfather
even know what
died,
you
all I
do.
got was a bunch of old Playboys.
Whoa. So your family's way cooler.
It is, I know.
but yeah, I mean, I have most of the old Nintendo Powers, probably from about number 1 through probably about 50. Actually, I don't think I have more than that. I have a few of the strategy guides.
I have all that shit too.
Yeah.
Boom.
So
I just don't. I need those fun club issues. Those are so cool.
I
Those
think
are pretty
I have
good.
them. Pretty sure I do.
I know you do because I just looked through a bunch of them.
Okay, there you go.
Oh,
Then.
nice.
I think the one interesting thing though is that I used to just look at like say the strategy guides that had these hand drawn maps of all the
Oh, yeah.
like Ninja Gaiden 2. I don't know if I ever owned Ninja Gaiden 2, but I had that strategy guide and I looked at it all the time and I was like,
Getting
oh,
the
that's so
Final
cool.
Fantasy guide
Yeah.
sold me on getting Final Fantasy,
Right.
Oh,
and
nice.
then like it was like the best strategy guide. So was the Mario 3 one.
Yeah.
And those you took for the Mario 3 and all the Mega Man stuff. They'd always like take Polaroids,
Right.
and then they taped them together,
them all out, yeah.
and that's how they did their walkthroughs.
So
And they look
crazy.
beautiful. And
Yeah.
they look great, but you can always see like Mega Man jumping in every single shot.
Yep,
And they-
yep.
You know, and in the power meter, they just taped them together.
The stuff I always love seeing is the old like Nintendo sketches that Miyamoto and his crew did for something like
yeah.
Mario 3, where they like hand draw this stuff out on
Yeah,
graph
The
yeah.
paper.
fact that Nintendo of
So
America
cool.
got that stuff then is amazing because there's no way they could get that now.
No.
Yeah,
Stuff's in the vault.
I got so angry though when they did that Mario 25th anniversary set. It comes with that little booklet, and they have just like brief shots of those things.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, just give me
Scan them.
100 pages of
Yeah.
that. I don't care about
Exactly.
anything else. Don't tell me
Yeah,
about
and have
all
Miyamoto
this.
comment on each one and be like, this is
Yes.
what I was
Oh,
doing
that's
here.
Yes.
This is
amazing.
so interesting.
Like,
Yeah.
there's such an
I
amazing
agree.
history there. I bet you could fill up hundreds of hours of all the cool stories of the making of so many of these games. And
yeah.
what I love is that nowadays, every now and then someone, translators over in Japan or here or whatever, will stumble across some old like early 1990s Japanese interview with some of the guys from there.
Yeah.
And you're just reading this stuff and you're like, how did this
Yeah.
ever happen? Like how... These stories are amazing, but just
Yeah.
nobody thought about it back
Also,
then.
some of these games came out 2 decades ago, and we're still learning new things about them,
Yeah.
about their development and stuff. It's incredible.
Yeah, cool.
Well, if you would like to ask a question, you can write us at nvc@ign.com. And we'd love to hear your questions. We'll try to fit the segment into more podcasts because I really like doing it.
Yeah.
Man, our inbox is just crammed. So
Send
thank
us-
you for watching. I know there's a lot more people listening and watching now that we're doing this on video and
Yeah,
YouTube.
send
so
us questions,
trying to get
also
to
suggestions, especially if you know of certain anniversaries of games that you'd love to see a game return,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Until we have lots of new games to play, we're going to try to hit anniversaries. And happy birthday, Mario Kart. It's pretty amazing
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
happened, right now,
yeah,
20 years ago.
We'll try and bring you some newer stuff, although it's a little quiet, even on the 3DS front until about October.
Yeah, a lot of stuff's coming out in October, so we'll try and
Yeah.
trying to do something.
Finally, I'd like to go around and give everybody our Twitter handles to follow us on Twitter
Oh,
because
sure,
we all
sure.
use it like crazy. So, Fran?
At Fran Mirabella, FranMirabella.
Should be Fran Cube.
I know. Or FM3 is my arcade.
You can probably look up Fred Mirabella Twitter or all of our names Twitter for
Yeah,
this way.
yeah.
But go ahead, Audrey.
I'm Game on Aminka, AMINKA.
Bob, you got a Twitter handle?
Just Bob Fekete. That's Fekete.
Cool.
The Silent Bob, that's okay. But thanks for playing. I just want to say thanks for being here and playing,
Oh,
Bob.
for sure.
We always need
Yeah.
somebody to kind of be playing the
Yeah,
game because
it's
it's really
really
hard to
hard
play
to-
and
He's
talk.
not
Yeah.
Silent
I
Bob,
didn't have
Game
any
Bob.
trouble.
Game
Well,
Bob.
Game Bob.
little
And
bit of trouble.
Rich, you are?
Rich IGN. Simple.
And I'm Samuel _IGN.
All right.
So thanks for listening. This was a really fun podcast, and we'll be back next time with probably another retro game, but we'll see. Just suggest something to us.
And as usual, we're going to let Bob play us out for a little bit. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye, Googlings.